In 2025, silence is no longer weakness, it's strategy. Think about it, the loudest voices in the room rarely hold the deepest wisdom. Noise is everywhere, in social media arguments, in endless debates, in people fighting to be seen and heard. But here's the truth no one wants to admit. Silence carries a power that shouting never will. When you stop responding to every provocation, when you stop explaining yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you, when you stop proving your worth to people who are never rooting for you in the first place, something shifts. The balance of power changes. Ask yourself this: how many times have you drained yourself defending your choices, only to realize your words fell on deaf ears? How many times have you let other people's noise pull you off track? What if, instead of reacting, you chose to stay still, stay calm, stay silent? What would happen if the energy you've been wasting on explanations was redirected toward building, creating, and growing? That silence becomes your shield, but also your weapon. And here's the part most people don't expect. When you go quiet, the world leans in. They wonder what you're thinking, what you're planning, what move you'll make next. Suddenly, you are no longer underestimated, you are unpredictable, and unpredictable is powerful. This year, silence isn't about retreat, it's about control. And what happens when you fully embrace that? The truth might shock you. Everywhere you turn in 2025, there's noise, opinions flying faster than facts, people posting highlight reels of lives they don't even live. Everyone competing for attention, shouting just to be noticed in a world already deaf from the constant storm. You scroll, you listen, you watch, and it feels like you're drowning in voices that don't even matter. Everyone claims to have the answers, the secrets, the shortcuts, but in all that chaos, one truth gets buried: the loudest person, and always the strongest. Now imagine stepping back from that storm. Imagine closing your mouth when the world expects you to argue. Imagine refusing to perform, refusing to prove, refusing to shout louder just to survive. That's silence, and silence in this world is rebellion. It's not weakness, it's restraint. It's choosing to guard your energy instead of spending it on people and places unworthy of it. Silence is a weapon because it unsettles people. They expect your reaction, your defense, your noise. And when you don't give it, they're forced to sit with their own. But more than that, silence is discipline. It's saying, I don't need validation. I don't need to join the chaos. I control my focus, my energy, my voice. In a time where everyone is desperate to be heard, the rarest power belongs to the one who doesn't need to speak at all. That's when silence stops being emptiness and becomes strength. Silence terrifies people more than words ever could. Think about it. In 2025, everyone is addicted to reactions. They want you to snap back, defend yourself, prove your worth, feed their drama. That's how they measure control. If they can pull emotions out of you, they think they own a piece of you. But when you stay silent, when you don't give them what they expect, the ground beneath them starts to shake. They can't read you, they can't predict you, and most of all, they can't control you. At first, they'll mistake your silence for weakness. They'll laugh, assume you have nothing to say, assume you surrendered. But slowly, the unease sets in. They start to wonder what you're thinking, what you're planning, why you're so calm when they're trying so hard to rattle you. And that's when they realize the truth. Silence isn't surrender. It's power. Your silence forces people to deal with themselves. Without your reaction to feed on, they're left with their own insecurities echoing back at them. They'll grow restless, confused, even fearful, because mystery is stronger than noise. The most untouchable people aren't the ones shouting to prove themselves. They're the ones who let others exhaust themselves while they move in quiet. Strength, that's the paradox. They'll think you're weak until they realize you're the one holding all the power. And by then, it's too late, because silence has already shifted the balance. The real transformation begins when you turn silence inward. In a world that shouts at you from every direction, Silence becomes the doorway to clarity. Instead of drowning in opinions and distractions, you start hearing your own voice again, the one that knows what you truly want, the one that's been buried under noise for far too long. And with that clarity comes a calm that few people ever find. Silence is not about doing nothing, it's about mastering yourself. When you stay silent, you don't react out of impulse, you respond with precision, you notice more, you listen deeper. You begin to see patterns that others miss because they're too busy talking, too busy chasing validation, too busy proving they exist. Silence gives you control over your emotions, and with that control, you become unshakable. Think about the difference. The scattered person burns energy trying to be seen, while the silent one conserves energy to strike at the right time. One is drained by chaos, the other is strengthened by discipline. This is why the silent rise above, because their power ain't wasted on noise, it's invested in action. In 2025, mastery won't belong to the loudest voice in the room. It will belong to the one who doesn't need to be loud at all. Silence sharpens your mind, strengthens your will, and transforms you from being reactive to being strategic. That shift, from noise to self-mastery, changes everything. Here's the shocking truth about silence in 2025. It speaks louder than words ever could. When you stop playing the game, when you stop reacting, the world begins to show itself in ways you've never seen. People reveal their impatience, their insecurities, their need for control. They get uncomfortable, fidgety, even frustrated, because they expected a reaction, and you refuse to give one. Suddenly, the masks slip, and the truth about those around you becomes undeniable. Silence doesn't just protect you, it exposes them, their arrogance, their assumptions, their desperation to be right or noticed. It all surfaces in the absence of your noise. While they scramble to fill the void, you remain unshaken, observing, understanding, mastering the situation without lifting a finger. Here's the paradox. The world assumes silence is weakness, but it is the ultimate form of strength. The louder they grow, the calmer you remain, the more they push, the less you bend. And in that space, you realize that what you've been chasing all along, respect, clarity, control, doesn't come from arguing or proving yourself. It comes from withholding, from stillness, from allowing your silence to speak on your behalf. The shock isn't in your words, the shock is in your restraint. This year, 2025, I challenge you to make silence your weapon, not for anyone else, for yourself. Every time you feel the urge to react, to defend, to explain, ask yourself, does this truly serve me? Or am I giving my energy away to noise that doesn't matter? Silence is not passivity, it's control. It's a conscious choice to rise above the chaos instead of getting dragged into it. Imagine the power of skipping the online argument, refusing to reply to petty messages, choosing not to over-explain yourself. The world will still spin, opinions will still fly, but you'll be unshakable. People will notice your restraint, even if they don't say it out loud. They'll test your boundaries, push your patience, try to provoke a reaction, and every time you remain silent, your power grows. Discipline is required. It's uncomfortable at first because you're breaking old habits, the need to be heard, the need to prove yourself, the need to be right. But each moment you stay quiet, you reclaim a piece of your energy, your clarity, your influence. Those who can't master silence will continue to be controlled by every shout, every notification, every expectation around them. So, ask yourself, are you going to let the noise dictate your life? Or are you going to step back, stay silent, and move strategically? The choice is yours. This year, let silence do the talking, and watch how the world responds. In 2025, your silence will shock the world. Every word you withhold, every reaction you choose not to give, will build a presence far louder than any shouting ever could. Silence is not emptiness, it is strategy, it is control, it is strength. While others exhaust themselves proving who they are, you conserve your power, sharpen your focus, and move with precision. The world will try to test you, to break your calm, to pull you into the chaos, but by staying silent, you rise above it. You become untouchable, you become unshakable. Your energy is yours, and it commands respect without a single word spoken. Remember this, and repeat it until it becomes second nature. Stay silent, stay strong, stay unshakable. The quieter you become, the more the world will notice, and in that stillness, you will find a power no one can take away. If this message hit you, don't let it stop here. Subscribe now and turn on notifications, so you never miss a moment that can change your mindset. Comment below, how will you use silence to reclaim your power in 2025? Share this video with someone who needs to hear this truth today. Remember, your growth is personal, but your influence can inspire others. So stay silent, stay strong, and keep moving forward. The end.